You see, ladies and gentlemen, I lost my mother. I was in my 20s. I know a lot of you out there are probably blessed and still have your mothers. Some of you might not. You might be in the same situation I am. You are a different person after you lose your mother. That's a void you cannot fill no matter what the fuck you do. When I lost my big sister, I cried for 3 nights and 3 days. When I lost my mother, I cried for 7 nights and 7 days. Now I'm talking about straight. Everything was just a blur. I don't remember eating that much during those periods, drinking anything. It was just a fucking fog. When I was at the University of Louisville, 3 months before I graduated, I never made the dean's list. But I decided to dedicate that last semester to my mother, and I made the dean's list for the first time. In December, I graduated with that Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, and I dedicated it to my mother. Even though she wasn't there physically, I could feel my mother there spiritually. I was still empty though. After losing my mother, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I came home very depressed. I moved back home, moved in with my father and my nephew. They was hurting. And it's still hard. You know, right there, that's where the anger began for me. I couldn't understand it, y'all. Why did I have to lose my mother in my 20s? Why my mother couldn't see my child? Get to see her grandchild. Why me? I took it personal. I took it with so much anger. You know, of course, not mad at the creator or anything like that. Just mad at the whole fucking world. You know, sometimes it feels like I'm always just waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's how I used to feel back then. And I felt like something bad was going to happen right before I graduated. It's like the shit was going too perfect. That's how the shit felt. It was just going too perfect. Something had to happen. But in a million years, I would have never thought it would have been me losing my mother. Never been the same after that. But we got to keep going on. I had to keep moving on. Some kind of way, I gather up the strength, get back 10 toes down, and do what I came home to do. And that was to help out my family, especially after just losing my mother. So I had an opportunity to get this great job in May of 2005. And I hit the ground running. I was working for a trucking company. I was a dispatcher. That's considered middle management. I was one of the guys sending people out on loads all over the country. If you don't know anything about trucking, I can at least talk about the field I worked in and the particular company I worked for. It was racist as fuck. No other way to say it. Racist as fuck. I was surprised they promoted me. The terminal manager, that's the guy who was over the whole terminal, he told me when I went for the interview, he thought I was overqualified for a clerical position. You fucking kidding me? Overqualified. A bachelor's degree. Anyway, but the human resources manager was black. He was the one who was trying to bring diversity to this ragged ass company. So I was hired. They saw my potential, my military bearing, discipline, never quitting, dedicated to the mission. They saw that in me, so they promoted me to dispatcher right away. I was there, I started working in May. I was promoted to dispatcher July. That's pretty quick, 2 months. Get a promotion that big. But that's when my problem started.